Hey everyone, this is Daniel Litwin, the voice of B2B, coming at you from the Market Scale home studio. I'm joined today on the line by Mike Schmidt. He's the Market Development Manager for Zygo. Zygo is a designer and manufacturer of advanced optical metrology systems, everything from military and aerospace to medical and automotive applications. And today, Mike is joining me on the line to highlight one of the industry's most important holidays, and that would be World Metrology Day. Coming up on May 20th, World Metrology Day celebrates the Meter Convention of 1875, where 17 nations came together to collaborate on a global standard for industrial, commercial, and societal applications of measurements. So we've got Mike on the line today to give us a little context and break down the theme for this year's World Metrology Day and why it matters. Mike, great to have you on. How are you doing?
Good, Daniel. Thank you for having me on today. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Holding up during the pandemic, working from home. How about you? How's everything
Yeah,
on your
same
end?
thing right now. You can see my beautiful backdrop here is
Yes.
within my home here now.
Everyone's got an off-white wall now as their backdrop.
Exactly.
So you're in good company. All right. So for any uninitiated audience members, could you give us a brief definition of what metrology is in practice and how it impacts everyone, especially anyone in the business world?
Yeah, sure. Essentially, metrology is the science of measurement. As you already stated, there's the ensuring that all countries measure the meter the same way, or the kilogram, or the pound. Probably one of the most significant societal impacts will be on regular consumerism, making sure when you go to the gas station, you get a gallon or a liter, or you go to your local deli, you order a pound of meat or a kilo of meat, making sure that it is all standardized no matter where you go in the world. We're trying to make sure the metrology measures these things and precisely. That's probably the best way to put it right now.
Perfect. Yeah, and regardless of what industry you're in, there's something that's being measured, and often there are international standards to meet, or else there would be some major miscommunications. And we can see that, affecting everything from NASA space shuttle launches to basic conversions when dealing with a business partner in a different country. So it really does matter to take into account metrology and give it, its due, right?
Yeah,
So
and as you mentioned as well, when it comes to the current pandemic,
yeah,
making sure that temperature probes all measure accurately and consistently. You don't want to go to a clinic and then in the hospital and they both give you two different readings, and that's where metrology also comes in.
right, exactly. So this year's World Metrology Day theme is, quote, measurements for global trade. So why do you think highlighting the measurements that ensure global trade was front of mind for this year's metrology and business professionals? Because I would assume this theme was chosen before the pandemic. So was there anything else motivating the selection of that theme? Any broader shifts in industry that you think are worth highlighting?
I think it's just the recognition that the planet and the companies are all interconnected currently. We're all globally interconnected. For instance, when it comes to some of the products that Zygo manufactures, materials that are mined in Asia are typically shipped to Europe. Got to make sure that these materials are formed into a component that meets tight specifications before it's shipped to the United States. We would check the same components at Zygo, making sure everything is confirmed and correlated. And then finally, the products are mounted into a final product and then shipped off again around the world. So it's making sure that a lot of these separate activities are done correctly. Metrologists at each location are carefully measuring their products, making sure that they meet their customers' demands and their own rigid rules before they ship them. Ensuring a unified set of measurement standards means companies can rely on supplier certificates of conformity. It just helps a lot for global business.
And how does global efficient trade impact, for example, the optical precision metrology devices that Zygo produces? Once it gets into that really fine, granular application, why does metrology in global trade really matter? Give us some context there.
Um, when it comes to the manufacturing of our own devices, it makes a lot. It makes our manufacturing devices a lot easier because we have local and foreign partners who are making components for our technologies. So making sure that when we specify something for our parts on a print or a 3D model, whichever, we'd be able to send that anywhere in the world to get the best suppliers required. A lot of our local suppliers here in Connecticut, we've been working with them for a long time. If there's something that they're not able to do, they can send the same prints that they have with our permission to another local supplier, and that we'd be able to get the same type of quality back. And that's all based on rigid standards and calibrations that are done at these facilities. Make sure all their tooling, grinding machines, everything is going to be measuring the same way, and they're going to be outputting the same type of product.
So, World Metrology Day is obviously something that impacts all sides of business. No one is immune from the effects of quality measurements and from metrology as a practice in general. So, Zygo is obviously included there. What is Zygo doing during World Metrology Day? It could be marketing, could be deals, could be new technologies to launch, or conversations you're having internally or externally to support this theme of the global measurements of trade.
Yeah, for instance, we're going to be releasing a blog quite shortly to celebrate World Metrology Day for 2020, which is going to expound on the usefulness of Zygo products as it goes with worldwide product development or calibrations. Our tools are used in a lot of different aspects of manufacturing, as you stated at the beginning of this talk, from automotive to silicon chips, consumer electronics, a lot of different things that we're involved in.
And then, Mike, to end the conversation here, why do you think working professionals and business leaders in general should be more conscientious of metrology and how it impacts their business? And how does staying conscientious of, I guess, the science of metrology impact what business leaders do, or maybe how they build out their logistics and business models, especially if they're international?
Yeah, it's a really good question, actually. I know for the longest amount of time, everybody would, when designing a product line or a production line, people tended to believe that metrology would be the last thing to purchase, just to verify sizes, weights, whichever. We've seen a growing trend, I would say, in the last 20 years where metrology is incorporated right at the beginning of any type of a product launch or production line to make sure that when any types of products are going to be made by these manufacturers, before they ship, they know already that their product is going to be meeting their rigid requirements. And when they ship those parts, they have the confidence that the quality is going to be what the customer is expecting. Leadership of organizations should be aware that metrology is still a major factor and always will be a major factor in the production of parts. And the benefits from that are going to be higher yields, better quality, less waste of materials. There's just a lot of components to what metrology does for businesses to enhance their business capabilities as well.
All right, thanks again for joining us on the line. Again, we've been chatting with Mike Schmidt. He's the Market Development Manager for Zygo. And again, Zygo is a designer and manufacturer of advanced optical metrology systems. Mike, if folks want to find out a little bit more about Zygo in general, or about some of the World Metrology Day offerings that you're bringing, what would they need to go to? How would they find out more info?
Yeah, the best place to go to is always going to be www.zygo.com. You're going to see all the list of our products. There's a wide range of white papers, application reports, and it's the easiest way to contact us if you have any questions.
Fantastic. All right, Mike Schmidt, thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Daniel. Have a good day.